What's up, you guys? It's me. Today, we are going to talk about something like scary and so forth because it's almost October, and October is one of my favorite months because it's Halloween. Yes. Okay, that was a little dramatic. But it's Halloween, and like, I love Halloween. I know there's a lot of people who also love Halloween, you know. So I decided to come on today to talk about my paranormal um my paranormal my paranormal experiences. My paranormal experiences isn't like fully detailed. Like like some YouTubers, they come on and they can tell you like, oh, it happened from this point to this point, and it's like the same like the same thing or the same situation. My like paranormal situations is like very short and very like it's just like random, I would say. But so that's the reason why I'm going to like put like some of my paranormal like experiences in like this one video, because it's not like a fully, like, I can't come here and tell you a full. Y'all hearing the plane? If y'all ain't, there's a plane passing over. If you you can hear it. But yeah, I couldn't tell you guys like a full lengthy story, so I decided to just come and just do like one video of like some of the things that I could remember from ever since I was a child. The first story I want to tell you guys is about um what we gonna call this one? I would say the dark figure. No, I don't know. Like, it was like a. Let me tell y'all. No, we gonna call it the Shadow Man. So I was saying, oh, set the scene, set the scene. I was 5. Imagine if I get called up, right? Hello, hello, ring, ring, like paranormal witness. They want me to like. They'll be like, oh. I'll be like, hi, yeah, sure. And then as soon as they interview me for like haunted shit, I'll be like laughing. I was 5 years of age, right? And like I remember like my mother used to, well, there was a known thing, because not my parents, because my parents were very Christian. We didn't get into the horror stuff and so forth. But I remember that my mother was, not my mother, oh my gosh, like the community that I grew up in, they used to always talk about this man who probably was like dealing with very bad stuff, right? Like, we lived around a beautiful meadow. It was like a pasture, and then there was houses all around it. So it was like, and then in the middle is like a playing field, and you can play cricket and whatever. The kids used to come out and play. Like, we used to come out there and play, right? So our house was on the north side of the pasture, looking down, and we can like, and his house was, I want to say, uh a little ways down to the left of the pasture, but a little like in the center of, how should I say it? Like, he was like on the left side. We're just gonna keep it like that. But he was a good way away from our house. I was outside. I remember I was like 6 years of age. I was very gullible, and I know that we as kids can be very gullible sometimes. But what happened was, I was brushing my teeth at 7 o'clock because I was getting ready for bed to go to school the next morning. Now, what happened is that I was brushing my teeth and stuff, and like I remember the story that, you know, like the people used to talk about it and so forth. So I'm looking at his house, right, and I'm like brushing my teeth, but I'm staring at the house, and all of a sudden, like, there was like this shadow that suddenly appeared that looked like that looked like a man, and like the person wasn't walking. He was like more like gliding across the pasture. And I remember brushing my teeth and being so scared because I was like, what the hell did I just saw? And like knowing me, I'm scared. So I like come rushing inside. Like I'm telling, like I was like super scared. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what that is, but I'm not sticking around to find out. So I ran inside after, and I was like going to call my mother to like come see, and she was like, what's going on with you? And I was like, oh, I saw something in the pasture. But back then, like I said, like my mother don't believe in things like that, like Christian woman. So she was like, oh, please stop it, you just probably joke, seeing things. But I saw it, but I'm not too sure if it was like somebody that was walking across the pasture late night and it was just dark. But that it looked like the person was like gliding across. So that was like one of my first like kind of introduction, I would say. Like I was like really scared. I was such a scaredy cat as a kid, and it's like I used to be scared of like any and everything, which I hated because I'm like, why are you over here being scared of? Like, what is there to be scared of? The world isn't that scary. Well, I mean. So the next story I want to talk about is this one is a lot more creepier than like any other thing that I have experienced. I'm never known to like sleepwalk and so forth. Like I never in my entire life, like even to this day, I don't sleepwalk, and I have never sleepwalked before that incident. So nothing before and nothing after, just this incident. So I remember I was living with my father at the time, and my father, I used to be sleeping in the living area because he had just like, he's a bachelor, so he had a one bedroom pad, and I was getting older, so it's not like I could just, when I was 4 or 3 years of age, I could just sleep in his bed. No, like, I'm older now, so I sleep in the living area, and I remember sleeping, but like I remember like hearing everything around me, right? But I'm deep in sleep, and I'm just there and I'm sleeping, and I'm like, remember, oh my gosh, this is kind of eerie to talk about, but I remember like sleeping and dreaming about somebody very important, but who I have never known. Girl, somebody who was very important to my family tree. And like I remember the person was like talking to me in my dream, right? Telling me like to come to where they were buried. I remember that, and I was like, I remember getting up, right? I remember getting up, opening the door, but like I'm still in the sense of sleeping, right? But the person was telling me, come to them. And I'm like, going out there. But I remember like, we have a porch that is blocked off. So it's like, it's not like, well, he has a porch, sorry, that was blocked off. So it's not like I can just go outside. I literally have to try to find the lock, try to open and stuff. I remember everybody else was up. It wasn't that late. It was like just after 9. So, he was up. I think his girlfriend was up and so forth. So I was just like, well, I was like 11 at the time. So I opened the front door, and like I was standing outside, but I was still dreaming, and I was still hearing like what I believe was the person's voice. And then all of a sudden, like I was like, all of a sudden, I just ended like in my dream. I ended up at a bank collecting money. But when my father's girlfriend came out, and she was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I woke up, and I was picking flowers from a bougainvillea tree. And mind you, the bougainvillea tree was right next to the porch, so I could just lean over and like pick flowers and stuff. So like it was like I was picking flowers. Like I have no idea why I was doing it, but like when she woke me up, I was so scared. My father was mad at me. I was like, I can't control that I'm sleepwalking when somebody's telling me come to them. So like I can't control that. Like I just went in No, I'm sorry. So he was mad that day, and I went back inside, and she was like telling me, oh, he wanted to beat me. I was like, for what? I didn't know I was outside picking flowers. But that was like one of the most creepiest like thing that have ever happened to me, and I was like, I was like kind of nervous to go back to sleep because I was young. And one thing about my father, he loved a horror movie. Like he loved horror movies so much that I used to have to at 11 years watch horror movie like Splice. I was even scared of Splice. Okay, the girl, the alien girl with the long tail, like I was scared of her. I used to like imagine that she was there, and mind you, like I'm sleeping in the living room, and everything is dark. He don't sleep with lights on, so you know. So I used to be scared. So I was kind of scared to go back to sleep that night, cause I was like, I don't know if I want to, but I guess cause I got school in the next morning. So yeah, that story, like even talking about it, I was like, oh, like it was kind of weird. I don't want to talk about who it was, but I just, you get it. The other story I want to talk about is, that story happened around the same time when I was at my father's house. I was like 12, like so I stayed by my father like for I think a year or two. I was 12, and I remember like we had rabbits and so forth, and I used to have to go out and like get food for rabbits and so forth, and like grass and you know water grass and so forth for the rabbits so that they can be fed. So I remember that day I was home and he came home, but I didn't go out to get anything. He was like, "Oh, you didn't feed the rabbit, blah blah blah," and then all of a sudden, like I got up and I took the bag and I went, with my little cutlass and I was like cutting stuff off and stuff. But like something was like so weird, like so eerie around me, cause I was like wondering, like I felt like this sense of burden around me, and like we have this like mystical creature. Like I'm telling you, I used to think of so many things. Like first I was so scared. There was this mystical creature called Papa Boy. He's like the god um of vegetation and forest and and stuff. So I was thinking about that like because I was hearing movements in the bush, but I was just thinking of that like folklore story. So I'm there picking the vine and so forth and the grass and stuff. When all of a sudden I heard someone like, "Hey!" Like a deep voice was like just shouted at me. I remember just taking the the bag that I had up and I was like running. I was booking it because I was like, no, no, ma'am, no, no. Let alone I had to be scraped up and cut up by these bushes, and I'm itching like crazy because I had to wade through the trees and shrubs and so forth. No, somebody shouting at me in the bushes. So I remember running because like I was like so scared, but like I, the crazy part about it is I didn't get anything yet. Like there was hardly any vines. So I remember like going alongside the house and like picking like picking other leaves and stuff from like other places and like putting it in the bag because I was like, yeah, that's all y'all gonna get. Period. Like y'all gonna have to find some way to eat, but y'all not eating. The last story, because those are the stories I could remember. I think there was like little unimportant stuff that I just probably scared myself. But the last story that I want to talk about is this one was kind of like creepier. I remember there was like I was saying okay, so I was like 16 at the time. So you can say like I'm well aware with everything now. Like 11, 5, yeah, you could make things up, but at 16, like you don't make stuff up like that. So I remember I was 16, I was laying in bed, right? But a couple nights I used to be having sleep paralysis and stuff. And I used to be scared and stuff because I used to like feel like there was a presence over me. Like I was always like in this state of like where I can't move for a couple nights. I was like not one night, not two nights, but a couple nights. But so I remember I went to sleep real early that night, and I was sleeping. I was sleeping on a bunk bed. Okay, so there was a bunk bed in my room as well. So I was just sleeping on the bunk bed, right? So upstairs I was sleeping, and I could hear my mother, and at the time my cousin, she was speaking with my mother, my older cousin, and they was like just talking and stuff, and and I'm there in my bed sleeping, and I'm hearing this, and I remember like couldn't move at the time, like you guys, I was like I could not move, I was like trying to scream, I was like help me, help me, I was calling for my mother, I was calling for them, no one, I was like Jesus help me, help me, help me, help me. And I remember like getting up from my bed, and like there was like I was laying on one of, there was two pillows. I was laying on one pillow, and there was like a chair pillow, like a throwback pillow. And I remember taking the pillow up and like heaving it across the room. Y'all, I kid you not. I don't know if I was still in a state of dreaming, but like I remember like throwing the pillow, and like the pillow like floated in the air for a bit and then fell to the ground. I tell you, when I saw that shit, I jumped down from the bunk bed and I started booking it into my mother's room. And she was like, "What happened? What happened?" I was like, I don't know, like something creepy happened." And she was like, "Oh God, stop it! Here you go again." But it was true. Like she don't believe me, but it was true. I don't know if I was still in the state of dreaming and stuff, but yeah. But now as I grow older, like sleep paralysis doesn't really scare me no more as I learn more about what it really is. But yeah, I guess it was a play on my imagination, but it was creepy because I was having it like for like 4 nights back to back, like sleep paralysis. Child, that was good. Like, don't even talk about the other encounters. Like, I don't want to talk about those encounters that I had along that same time period because it is very weird, and I don't feel like I should talk about that yet. But yeah, those are some of my um experiences, you would say. I know y'all both think, oh my gosh, he didn't really talk about nothing. But yeah, I don't really I love horror, I love like paranormal stuff, but I don't really like go out to seek those stuff, I would love to go ghost hunting, like love it. And that's the reason why I'm wanting to do so much history and different stuff and haunted places. So yeah. But I hope you guys enjoy the stories. I hope you guys enjoy me. And I see you guys in the other one. Bye guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Yes, because it helps me a lot and it gives me motivation to continue to do more. So subscribe. Thank you guys. Bye.